run up and get batteries or flag them or something, because this is gonna die. And we're about to get started. Maybe I can get someone else. Or,
what's his name? Hey, we need batteries for his mic. I got batteries.
and yours now, yours is mine is on too.
Good morning and welcome to First Unitarian. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing Morning Has Broken.
Grace for the morning.
And it's still morning, right? I think so, for a little bit more anyway. So great to be with all of you this morning. We welcome you here to the First Unitarian Church of Rochester. And what a morning this is. It's a glorious morning with great weather. Reminds me of March. But you know, at least it's not snowing, not anymore. And we'll take it. We'll take it. I am the Reverend Verdis LeVar Robinson. I am the Assistant Minister for Growth here at the First Unitarian Church of Rochester. I work with a team of wonderful, wonderful colleagues. One is in Japan right now, that's Reverend Sherry, and we wish them traveling blessings. Hopefully great stories to come back with. Someone said a haiku, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to be welcoming back Reverend AJ next week from parental leave. I am here with Jenna as worship associate. We have Pablo on the keys and the organ in a little bit. We have the Satori Trio, which is a quartet today, I believe. There's like 4 of them today. There's what? Quintet, excuse me, I miscounted. Quintet, Satori Quintet, but Satori Trio, that's the formal name, okay. And we have our choir this morning, and all of you, of course, and all of you. Let's start by arriving into our bodies. Let's breathe a little bit. And I do have some announcements that I left at my chair right here. And one of the announcements has to do with a play this week, The Glowing Halo, which will debut this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And I believe there are some postcards as well as some flyers for more information. And they're both at 7:30 p.m. You're not going to want to, I'm going to be here both days, y'all. So you're not going to want to miss it. So it's going to be wonderful. We also have an auction coming up on May 4th, so may the 4th be with you, about gifts and talents. I'm going to be offering some of my gifts and talents as well, and there's still time to donate for that. So look out for that as well as if you can take a moment, please take a moment and complete an online survey from our Board of Trustees. They would love to hear from you, and there'll be some listening sessions going on this week and next week. So feel free to fill out that survey. It's in your newsletter, as well as a QR code. If anyone wants to take out their phone right now, I can hold it for a little bit. Our choir is standing, so not for long. And it's so good to be with you this morning. It's so good to be with all of us and all of you. This is a special morning. This is a special service. It's in honor of Earth Day. So I'm here with our Environmental Justice Ministry, who will be offering you love letters to the earth and inviting you into that practice as well. So, as we begin to light our chalice, so if Barbara can light our chalice this morning as a representative of our climate action, wrong church, Environmental Justice Ministry. Please join me in the unison words. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and mysteries of this great gift. Now rise in body and spirit as we sing together, "The Tide is Rising," and the lyrics are on the screen.
The tide The sun is shining. The sun is shining, and so are we. The sun is shining, and so are we. The sun is shining, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The world is ready. The world is ready, and so are we. The world is ready, and so are we. The world is ready, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The tide is rising. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
Have you ever had a day where you started off on the wrong foot and couldn't regain momentum for the rest of the day? The kind of day where your alarm didn't go off, you were late for work, you felt rushed all day, and your mind started racing and spiraled into existential dread about climate change or the future of peace in our world. Yeah, I was having one of those days. And just as I was feeling like I had rushed through and I started to catch up, the burglar alarm of my office building went off because it had been recalibrated incorrectly and we nearly had to evacuate the building. And I think that's why we come to church. Bear with me. Because when the internal and external chaos of our world becomes a little too much, sometimes we need the forceful hand of the universe to remind us to slow down, take a breath, and pay attention, to just stop and sit with discomfort. So now I invite you to turn to your neighbor or to write in the chat online ways in which that you cope with discomfort. Our reading this morning is called, "On Another Panel About Climate Change, They Ask Me to Sell the Future, and All I've Got is a Love Poem." It's written by Aisha Siddiqa. Listen, what if the future is soft and revolution is so kind that there is no end to us in sight? Whole cities breathe and bad luck is bested by a promise to the leaves. To withstand your own end is difficult. The future frolics about, promised to no one, as is her right. Rage against injustice makes the voice grow harsher yet. If the future leaves without us, the silence that will follow will be an unspeakable nothing. What if we convince her to stay? How rare and beautiful it is that we exist. What if we stun existence one more time? When I wake up, get out of bed, my 7-year-old cousin with her ruptured belly tags along. Then follows my grandmother, aunts, and other cousins, and the violent shape of their drinking water. The earth remembers everything. Our bodies are the color of the earth, and we are nobodies. Been born from so many apocalypses, what's one more? Love is still the only revenge. It grows each time the earth is set on fire. But for what it's worth, I'd do this again. Gamble on humanity 100 times over. Commit to life unto life. As the trees fall and take us with them, I'd follow love into extinction.
Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears. If you can enter into a moment of silence with me, and we'll follow that moment of silence with an Earth Day prayer. Spirit of life, Spirit of earth, Spirit of all that breathes and all that is, we love you. We love this planet and its people and its beings. We love the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. We love it all. And we want it all to be well and blessed and healthy. But we are human. And as a people, our hearts are still small. So often our love and our sincere desire for the well-being of all is not yet enough to restrain our collective desire for more for ourselves. More money, more power, more things. So often we act in the service of that desire for more in ways that harm our fellow humans, and the countless beings with whom we share this earth. And so often, even when we would do otherwise, we feel powerless. The problems are so big, the scale so enormous. What can one person or one small group really do? But today, let our prayer be for hope and commitment to stay in the struggle, to do what is right as best we can each day, and to love you, Spirit of earth and ocean, stars and rocks, beings of every kind, not least our human neighbors. To love this glorious whole as we love ourselves. For we are you, and you are us. Blessed be, may it be so, and amen. We now enter our ritual that brings what is on our hearts and lay it on the altar of community and spirit. Honoring the complexities of life, bring to mind at this moment what grief, what growth or gratitude that is alive within you. Online, if you're invited to share in the chat, and here in the sanctuary, you're invited to come forward and light a candle. And if you would like one of us to bring you a candle, please raise your hand, and we will do that. May we now share in this ritual of community care and witness to one another's hearts. All that we hold in our hearts for ourselves, for each other, and for the earth is held in this community and by a love that will not let us go. Amen.
Everything our church does for ourselves and others is made possible by what we bring to it. Each week we practice shared generosity to support the work and witness of Unitarian Universalism in Rochester, and half of our Sunday offering goes to a partner organization working to create a more just and loving world. Today, we share our plate with the Rochester Spinal Association. RSA is dedicated to enhancing the quality of life of people living with spinal cord disability. And in early 2021, RSA chose to focus on people with spinal cord injuries due to gun violence. In the past 2 years in Rochester, there has been approximately 1 new spinal cord injury due to gun violence every month. In the spirit of abundance and generosity, our offering will now be received with gratitude.
Are not our own. Earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life divine. We are not alone. Earth names us, past and present, peoples near and far, family and friends and strangers, shows us who we are. Therefore let us make thanksgiving, and with justice willing and aware, give to earth and all things living liturgies of care. Let us be a house of welcome, living stone upholding living stone, gladly showing all our neighbors we are not our own. A few months ago, I received this packet. It was like a sermon in a box or service in a box from our colleagues in Colorado. And the service in the box was called Letters, Love Letters to the Future, or Love Letters to the Earth. When I was meeting with the Environmental Justice Ministry, they embraced this. And they decided to write letters on their own. Well, I kind of compelled them to. And so, for our sermon this morning, they will read you their letters to the earth, their love letters to the earth.
Good morning. Is it working? Oh, good. My name is John Randall. I use he, him pronouns. What is our moral obligation now when our lifestyle is causing devastation around the world, mostly affecting the poor? Related questions are, what was the moral obligation of textile mill owners in the North who were benefiting from slavery? What is the moral obligation of us colonial imperialists who are here due to the genocide of the indigenous peoples who lived here before us? After the murder of George Floyd, I made an effort to examine my own racist feelings and to examine the privileges I enjoy and largely take for granted. Similarly, we can examine privileges we Americans enjoy. I would like to focus on one in particular. It could be called first world privilege, and that is that I have the right to unlimited quantities of cheap energy. I see evidence that this is present in all first world countries, not just ours. This is made possible by our culture, which does not consider long-term consequences or our relationship with the world around us. Our seventh principle, respect for the interconnected web of existence, becomes real for me when I think about the Syrian wheat farmer, the Honduran corn, bean, and coffee farmer, and the Puerto Rican coffee grower who can no longer pursue the work that has sustained their families for generations due to climate change. I can drive the speed limit and not feel impatient, but instead feel connected. I can choose to eat vegan and not feel deprived, but instead feel connected. I feel that it's important to live my values, even realizing that my individual contributions will have no measurable effect. I find comfort in taking the actions that I can with joy. I ask myself frequently, is it possible to live well with less? The indigenous peoples who preceded us here certainly thought so. Consider the month of Ramadan, where they fast from sunup to sundown for 29 to 30 days. It is a time to understand the pain and suffering of the poor around the world and commit to action. It is a way of challenging your first world privilege.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Gorski. My letter is to my granddaughter and to Mother Earth. I love you so much. I hope the beauty of the natural world we have enjoyed together will continue throughout your life. Remember the magnolia trees around the corner of my house? They were waiting for you to climb. Our walks revealed bird footprints and bunny tracks in the snow. There were gorgeous flowers everywhere. We even saw some butterflies. Remember the paths we walked through Washington Grove? We listened to the woodpeckers, searched for animals hiding in the logs, and discovered the bugs that had eaten some of the wood. Remember the fun we had on the beach? The hard, wet sand left our footprints, but just for seconds before the waves took them back into the ocean. We made such creative sandcastles and laughed at the crab walking sideways. We had so many wonderful experiences in nature. May you always have this beautiful, healthy world to give you inspiration, center your spirit, bring you joy and serenity. You are so beautiful in spirit. May our natural world continue to nurture that. Love, Grandma.
I'm Sandy Rubin, and I have immersed, can you hear me okay? Is this too, okay. And I've immersed myself in learning about global climate crisis, also called overshoot, for several years. And this is what my letter's about. We came, we saw, we conquered. Dear Earth, we emerged from your stardust just a second ago. And now it seems that we may be departing, perhaps sooner than later. Your next inhabitants will have to thrive on CO2, methane, and warmth. They'll need a taste for plastic, too. We're leaving quite a mess. But we, your human children, we were born of your DNA. Were we ever your pride? Brilliant, curious, inventive, we mapped the cosmos. We discovered black holes and the periodic table, harnessed atomic energy. We even took pictures of you from the moon, and you look good. And from Mars, you were a pale blue tiny dot. We made rolling suitcases, escalators, handheld vacuum cleaners, electric cars, and the ubiquitous cell phone. There, right there, Earth, do you see our human problem with the DNA you gave us, with its blueprints for curiosity and inventiveness? We've had our fun. We've climbed your mountains, crossed your lands from ocean to ocean in hours. We've fathomed your seas. We decided we own all of your land. We've even gone to war over that. We have built, produced, manufactured, torn down, and started over. Don't get me started on what we've done by using your energy. We've written, painted, and composed. We've danced and laughed and felt sublime joy. We have thrilled down to our toes at being alive on you, dear Earth. So now, having taken our fill of you, here we are. Dear Earth, with audacity, I will say what I mourn for what we've lost, what is going or is gone. Being able to see that breathtaking swath of stars, the Milky Way, walking in my childhood sanctuary, an ancient forest with emerald moss, with its smell of life in its bright green, gold, brown, orange, red, and crystal white in snow. The wildflowers, the fireflies, the elm, the chestnut, the buffalo, the animals I never knew. The migratory monarch butterflies and the diaphanous winged dragonflies, the bird songs, spring peepers, chorus, and the drinkable rushing waters. Even the hum of the mosquitoes. My neighbor sprayed pesticide on the now quiet pond where wild geese rest and deer drink. Still, much is left to love. Family, friends, fellow humans, fellow animals and plants. The very first light green bud signifying the threshold of spring's lushness. Clouds, rain, blue skies, and daffodils. Your gift of sex and love has been heartily welcomed. Thank you for that. Multiplying like rabbits has been rapturous fun. Also, dear Earth, I confess a fondness for my computer. the gas I need to drive to church, at-home deliveries, my weekly trash pickup, TVs, balsamic vinegar from Italy, air conditioning, plastic bags, credit cards, rechargers sit on mowers, and elastic in my clothes from China, etc. Oh, beloved earth, my darling succulent, my Eden, my sustenance, I do love you. Both our stay here and this love note ends with deep gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for the grand party you have allowed us. It was just for us, wasn't it? And though it's nearly over, we won't be cleaning up. With love, a human.
As you can hear, we have quite diverse ideas on what a love letter is. I'm John Kievert. Being retired, I am blessed with being able to take the dog for a walk every day in nearby Ellison Park and enter a woods where unnatural human structures recede and we just hear birds and look for the occasional chipmunk. I love the glorious green and vibrant life we see around us for at least 9 months a year. I especially love the spring when buds pop out, confirming that the bare brown stems are actually alive and will soon be heavy with leaves and flowers. I plant a vegetable garden every year. I've learned from experience that I have to be attuned to the season's cycles and not put in green bean seeds before the ground is warm or they will rot. And I can now start a couple weeks earlier thanks to global warming. I have learned from experience also that I have to make good compost and work it into the soil. I check on my garden every day and then get relief and inner joy when the green sprouts start poking up from the dark earth. The miracle of life occurs again, and I can actually grow some of my own food. I find it therapeutic to have that connection to the earth. It slows me down to the pace of growing things, not that of multiple Zoom meetings per day. With our temperate climate and ample water, I hope you all appreciate how good we have it here in Western New York. It's true, when you love something, you want to protect it. It is more motivating to protect the actual green environment around us than the idea of reducing carbon footprint. But to protect the former, we have to do the latter. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter, Saskia, who could be alive in the year 2100, and that scares the crap out of me. I'm 80, and I want her to be able to look back on a life over a life that is different from mine, but feels full and satisfying, and not a desperate daily struggle for survival in a hostile world. Predicting the future is foolhardy, but we can be sure there will be significant change. I want a future for my granddaughter that brings both struggle and joy, and a society that peacefully lives within the boundaries of long-term sustainable resources of our one home planet. We're not doing that now. In my retirement, I have increasingly become an activist, and the people I meet in that work give me hope that the course we are now on can be altered enough that the world she experiences will be better than I fear, if not as good as I wish for. One lone person speaking out seldom brings big change, but I have been fortunate enough to align myself with climate groups that have had some successes. When many of us add our small ounces to the scale of justice, we can move the scale. After several years of advocacy, we got a comprehensive New York climate bill passed in 2019. That's one thing. Last year, Governor Hochul caved in to industry pressure and tried to change the definition of greenhouse gases to soften regulation as the gas industry wanted. Environmentalists from many groups banded together and hit her with hundreds of calls and thousands of emails daily. Within 5 days, she relented, withdrew the change, and called upon our leaders to quit bothering her. Having a sense that actions we can take have some effect brings with it the responsibility to, in fact, do everything we can to make the future as hospitable as possible for our children. The change is obviously coming, and the possibility of making a difference makes this an exciting time to be alive. One of my living saints is Bill McKibben, who says we can't stop climate change, but the actions we take in the next 5 years will determine if succeeding generations have options or are locked into runaway global warming. Are you thinking, okay, but I don't do advocacy? Be assured there's a wide variety of possible ways to have an impact on the future, from eating less meat and reducing food waste to changing your car, your energy source, or home insulation. Come to Gilbert Hall after the service for more ideas. No one should sit this one out. There is too much at stake. The future calls us to do something now.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul Borneman. And I am Paul Borneman. Good. Dearest planet Earth, from your rolling meadows that stretch like seas of green to the mighty mountains that kiss the skies, every inch of you whispers tales of majesty and grandeur. Your oceans, deep and mysterious, cradle the origins of life, while your forests, ancient and wise, breathe life into the air we cherish. Yet, it is not just your natural wonders that capture my heart. It's the delicate interplay of all living beings that call you home. You, dear Earth, are the grand stage for this drama of life, hosting a myriad of creatures, each playing their part in the web of existence. Your boundaries, generosity, your boundless generosity, you offer sustenance and shelter, asking for nothing in return but respect and care. Just as you nurture us, it is our duty to safeguard the climate that envelopes you, preserving intricate balance that sustains life. We must champion the cause of the environment, ensuring that your beauty and your bounty are preserved for generations to come. This commitment extends to embracing social justice, recognizing that the health of our planet is linked to the well-being of all of its inhabitants. Let us, your children, come together in a chorus of action and advocacy, working tirelessly to combat the forces that seek to harm you. Let us champion sustainable practices that honor your natural rhythms, ensuring that every policy and every action is taken with your health and the good of all your creatures at heart. In our quest to protect you, dear Earth, let us also remember to celebrate you. Take a moment every day to marvel at your beauty, to breathe in the air you give us, to tread gently upon your soil. For in loving you, we learn to love ourselves and each other with greater depth and sincerity. With every sunrise and every sunset, I renew my commitment to Mother Earth. May my love for you be reflected in my actions as I strive to create a world where climate, environment, and social justice are held sacred. You, dear Earth, are our home, our heart, our hope. Let us all cherish you now and forever with enduring love and commitment. Thank you.
We thank the Environmental Justice Ministry or representatives of the Environmental Justice Ministry for their love letters to the earth. This week is, I believe, on Wednesday, is it? Am my dates correct? Or the 23rd is official Earth Day, isn't it? Monday, tomorrow. I don't know, actually, let's see, it's still April. Okay, yeah. It feels like March. All right. I encourage and somewhat challenge all of you to take a moment of time and write a love letter to the earth. You can send it in an email to earth.com. I'm just joking. No. Or to write it, put it in an envelope, stash it away for the next Earth Day, see where we are. Hopefully we've made progress. Or it's a reminder of progress that yet to be made. You can write it in your heart. What would you say to the earth? What would be your love letter, your love message to the earth? Because the earth sends us love messages every day. And it loves us unconditionally. Thank you. Please rise in body and spirit as we sing our closing hymn, All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. As we end our service, let us extinguish our chalice with the chalice words. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And I invite you also to help us by stacking the chairs with arms after the service, and to also go swiftly out so that our players can prepare for their debut this week. And I hope to see all of you here this weekend as well. You know, Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Adam Robert-Smith said, "If we act out our love for this earth and all of inhabitants, we can avoid despair. In this, as in all things, our theology tells us to choose faith, hope, and deep, abiding love over fear. To act from the knowledge that we will save what is of great worth and sacredness to us. So go forth and make it so." Amen? Amen. Thank you.